Herbert Clark Hoover had the unfortunate pleasure of being President of the United States in 1929, the year that the Great Depression began. The day after the stock market crashed, Hoover declared that the fundamental business of the country is on a sound and prosperous basis. He was, of course, mistaken. Herbert Hoover did not cause the Great Depression, but his approach to it is often a source of criticism. Hoover did take some steps to combat the Great Depression, but he was a believer in limited government and as such opposed too much federal intervention in the economy and to giving people direct financial assistance. Hoover believed in what he called rugged individualism. He believed that it was the hard work and independent spirit of Americans that made it a prosperous country. If the federal government gave direct financial assistance to people out of work, he believed Americans would grow too dependent on the government, and they would lose the rugged individualistic spirit that motivated them before. Hoover was not opposed to all financial aid to those out of work. He did, however, believe that it was best done by state governments and local charities. The federal assistance that Hoover did support, however, was aimed at corporations. In 1932, Hoover asked Congress to create the Reconstruction Finance Corporation. The RFC made loans available to banks, railroads, and other corporations. In all, $238 million in federal loans were given out to various corporations and businesses. Hoover believed in this trickle-down or supply-side approach to the economy. He believed that if banks and corporations were given assistance, they would then hire more people, or at least not lay off any more people. Critics of this approach call it corporate welfare. Hoover's top-down approach did not do much to help the growing number of jobless men and women. As people lost their jobs and homes, dilapidated shanty towns began to emerge on the outskirts of many American cities. Illustrating how the American public was losing confidence in the president, these areas were nicknamed Hoovervilles. Empty pockets without money were turned out and called Hoover flags, and newspapers that homeless people used to keep themselves warm were known as Hoover blankets. Hoover's popularity was further eroded after the incident of the bonus army. After World War I, Congress passed a bill that promised World War I veterans a $1,000 bonus to be distributed in 1945. In 1932, several thousand unemployed World War I veterans marched to Washington, D.C. to demand that Congress pay the bonuses early. The veterans were encamped in Hoovervilles throughout the capital. The Senate voted the early payment bill down, and Hoover refused to meet with the veterans. Instead, he ordered the Army to disperse the veterans and tear down the camps. This led to a violent confrontation in which 2 veterans were killed. After the Bonus Army March, Hoover's public image was pretty much tarnished for good.